Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the specific area of CAIIB on our YouTube channel JAIIB CAIIB English Medium. Okay, everyone, what are we going to deal with today? As you can see, today I'm going to discuss the specific area of adjustment of risk and uncertainty in capital budgeting. So that's the particular topic we're going to talk about today. See, the point is sometimes now in capital budgeting, I'll tell you that in this particular project, we expect 10,000 rupees, we expect 20,000 rupees. But in reality, does it really happen? That's the truth, na? If it is happening, it is good. If there is any deviation, then the entire model that we thought of, कि अच्छा, I will accept this specific point or I will not accept this specific point. That entire project, the reason for accepting that project might have been that it had profit. Reason for rejection of a specific project would have been that in our anticipation it would have been something which is negative. Now this is what we look forward to and we try to find out a particular solution to it. And we use adjustment of risk and uncertainty because there's a deviation. It can never happen that I can give you a certainty in terms of the cash inflows and outflows, that this is the cash inflow, this is the cash outflow that we'll receive or we will lose. So when we talk about the adjustment of risk and uncertainty, the very first thing is the core term capital budgeting. Everyone, I'm in the field of edtech. In the field of edtech, we have one particular thing which is very, very important for us, that is our equipments. When we use our equipments, they have to be something which is updated, and at the same time not only updated, I would say it should be something which is of a very good quality, right? If the camera is not of a good quality, then our our picture would be compromised. When we talk about the equipments that we are using, the touchpad and the pen, if it's not of a good quality, then there's another problem. It is not of a good quality, then I have a problem that during the classes I'll face glitches. If the specific area of Wi-Fi is not good, if my Wi-Fi is not at the high quality in terms of the internet speed, then there's another problem. There are multiple problems that we face here. Now that is where we understand that if I put 10,000 rupees more in the equipment, it is going to make me more earnings. So capital budgeting tells you that whether you should put more money into your assets to get more money or not. है ना? That is how we define capital budgeting. Capital budgeting means you, whether the assets that you have put into the business, whether those assets are giving you the specific benefit or it is not giving you any kind of benefit altogether, right? Now, capital budgeting decisions involve a significant risk and return as well. Risk is there because if I put 10,000 and I don't get that 10,000 back, then the entire money, the entire working that I had thought is all in vain. And in this case, the financial choices that we are making, the managers would be questionable. If this particular thing wasn't really beneficial, then why did you put money into this specific area altogether? So that is how we define the area of capital budgeting. And adjustment of risk means risk exists. How do we adjust it? Adjust it, matlab everyone. When we talk about the adjustment now, in this case, adjustment means in this case, the actual amount is not the amount that we expected, and that is where we need to compromise with that specific area altogether. Done, everyone? So that's one particular area. Acha. When we talk about the specific area of sensitivity analysis, scenario, and other quantitative methods, when we talk about sensitivity and scenario, there's a difference there. Sensitivity is, everyone, if I talk about on a random basis, I tell you that pata hai, I am allergic to dust. I'm only allergic to dust, not to anything else. Then a few people say, yes, I am also allergic to dust. Matlab, multiple things aren't really affecting them. In this particular project A, project B, project C, there's one particular factor which is affecting them and causing them a trouble, because now if you put me into a work where there's a lot of dust involved, I might get sick. So that is one particular area which will turn out negative for me. In one particular project, if you change the cash inflows, the entire project or model is a failure. Now that is where sensitivity analysis is there. The cash inflows should not be hindered. And it should be similar to what we have anticipated. Then comes scenario. Not one thing is actually changed. The controlled environment exists only in laboratories. It doesn't exist in real life. If one particular thing changes, there are other things that are impacted by the same point as well. So in this case, when we talk about scenario, multiple situations in that specific area changes, and it affects the specific organization badly. Now when we talk about the specific area, here comes the CIMA, everyone. CIMA is basically the Institute for the Management Accounting. This one particular area really helps you to understand these important aspects. Sensitivity analysis is basically a modeling technique in seeing what are the significant variables and the changes in key variables. Not everything changes and affects the organization's working. A few things, when they changes, it's gonna affect our working altogether. That's how we define this specific area altogether, everyone. ठीक है ना? That is how we define this specific area. So when we talk about the specific area of sensitivity analysis, there's one particular, only maximum one particular point that will affect them, and this is what we'll be noting down, ki which particular factor has a greater impact. When we talk about net present value or internal rate of return is another method. This is all the methods of capital budgeting that we use. We're gonna use these methods only, and we'll find out which variable has more impact. ठीक है, the inflow has more impact, the initial investment has more impact, our discounting factor has more impact, which thing impacts us more, and you establish a relationship. You have mathematical relationship between variables, positive variable, negative variable, which variable impacts more and which variable impacts less, and then we have to analyze the effects as well, study how changes in each variable impacts our NPV or IRR, and which one has more impact would definitely help us to know ki whether we should really look at other variables in the same way, or this particular variable will determine whether we are going good or bad. Because if this important variable is ruined, then the entire project or the entire model of NPV or IRR is absolutely wrong or rubbish in this case. So that is what we look at sensitivity, one particular factor at a time. Then we have advantages and disadvantages of sensitivity. Advantages of sensitivity, it takes up the critical factors. That this particular factor is super duper important. This is unavoidable. You cannot leave this particular area at all. That is what they say in this specific area. So I think this is a good advantage of the sensitivity analysis, that you come to know which particular aspect of your project is unavoidable, where there's actually a problem. है ना? Then we have the specific area of simple and easy to understand. It is easy because we're taking one thing at a time. Disadvantages is there are variables that are independent. The problem is, everyone, if I think that only internet can affect our class, no. If internet is there's a problem with the internet, and there's some problem with the noise, there's a problem with multiple things. In reality, not one thing is affected, multiple things are affected. That is where we have to look forward to it. And then we have ignores probability of changes. So when we talk about the ignorance of probability of changes, you just cannot say that things cannot change and everything is gonna be the same, है ना? So that is how we define the area of advantages and disadvantages of sensitivity analysis. Here comes the next one, everyone, that is called scenario analysis. How do we define scenario? Scenario can be set as a particular situation that we are picking up. That means we accept the reality, not one thing changes. Multiple things changes in reality, this happens, and what are the permutation combinations that will either make things positive or either make things negative. Okay, I hope now the entire slide is visible to you, everyone. first thing in this case is the base case. Most likely this is the particular thing that is about to happen. So that is how we define as most likely set of values for input variables. Worst case is pessimistic. This is the normal thing that can happen. Normally this happens is basically the base case. Worst case is the worst thing that can happen. But this is the worst to worst situation that can come up with us. Then comes the best scenario. Best scenario is the best thing that can happen with the organization. Then we have the mixed scenarios. In actual, we never have all the positives, we never have all the negatives. We always have a mixture. But that this positive thing happened or this negative thing happened. You know? That's a beautiful reality of life. That is how this particular area works as well. When we talk about scenario analysis, you are not looking at only one factor. One factor can be more important or other factor can be less important, but in actual, multiple factors can affect your working. It cannot be only one thing which can affect your organizational working. Multiple things will basically affect your organization. है ना? So this is how we define scenario. We're not looking at one factor, but all the factors all together, or maybe two or more factors in different permutation, combination. Then comes risk adjusted discount return. So this is one of the most realistic area to look at. Everyone, if I say that pata hai, I think we'll generate 10,000 rupees as income over the period of time. It's never gonna be only 10,000. It can be 9,500, it can be 12,000, it can be 30,000 even. It will never be the same as we expected all the time. Sometimes it would be, sometimes it won't be. It can never be that particular scenario. No? That is how we define this area. When we talk about this, you take up the interest rate, which is risk free. Then adjustment of the companies. This is the risk that the company normally takes. Now, if you want to add up more risk, more returns. If you want that, when you don't want that much of risk, then the differential risk would be less. So that can be more or less based upon what? The kind of risk you would be accepting in future. है ना? Then comes differential risk, everyone. It can be positive, it can be negative. Maybe the particular risk is gonna be helpful for us more, or maybe it can be less helpful. There cannot be one particular surety na कि this will happen or this will not happen. Don't you think? That is how we define the risk adjusted discount rate. Acha everyone, there this is where the specific formula is also given. Certain equality approach is also there. NPV to be looked at, right? So in this case we have this specific Acha, this one is something which normally doesn't come in the examination, so I'm going to skip this part of the PPT. Now comes decision tree. Decision tree is something we can expect in the examination. From this topic, there are certain topics in the book which are less asked. So that is why we can, I think, skip that particular area and work upon those areas which are normally asked in the examination. है ना? Acha, everyone, look at this part, decision tree. What do you mean by decision tree? This is the decision how we set it. This is the specific area. Either it can be a yes or it can be a no. Probability of having a yes is 0.60, having a no is 0.40. Then we have two situations. Then here we also have two situations. This particular situation, having a yes or no, will give rise to another set of it. That is how our life even started. Now we took this decision, things would have been different. We took that decision, things would have been different further. And that is how we look at that specific area altogether. Now comes the specific area of decision tree overall. There is a decision node. This represents the choice of the alternative. This is the choice node. Indicates the probabilities yes or no, 60-40. Terminal node where you have that end, final outcome. And these are the branches that we look at. Decision, that is why it is called tree, because there are multiple things that you have in terms of the working. You can open it up further and further. That is how we define decision tree. Done. Here comes the risk management in practice. When we talk about the risk management in practice, how do we look forward to it? First is revenue estimation. One of the clear things that can help a business to grow is knowing the revenue estimation. What is it that we are gonna make? Then comes cost estimate. Cost estimate matlab what is the cost that we are making? Flexibility is basically are we ready to change things or not? When we are looking at different options, can we adapt those things or not? है ना? And then the next part is analysis techniques. You have to be very clear about analysis. I think first thing that you have to be clear about is the sensitivity. First thing is sensitivity, knowing each and every factor separately and then looking at all these things together as well. That gives us more clarity towards the working. So everyone, this is it for the content area. Let's talk about the specific area of the MCQ practice now. Let's look at this. What does the capital budgeting involve? Short-term financial planning? No. Short-term financial planning is related to the working capital. Then we have the estimating cost and revenues for new projects. Human resource management or inventory control in this area. What's going to be the answer? Capital budgeting involves cap budget is basically only the long-term thing that is included in it. That too, assets and liabilities to be looked forward to. How much long-term can we look at? Estimating the costs and the revenues of the new projects that we'll be getting, and whether we should accept or reject those particular projects, or we can take multiple projects or permutation and combinations which can be used. Which term refers to the additional cost associated with holding cash, considering factors like time, volume, and source? Revenue cost, working capital cost, cash flow cost, or capital cost? Which term refers to the additional cost? Additional cost, revenue cost, working capital, cash flow, or capital? The correct answer is capital cost, everyone. In terms of this area, yes, we talk about capital cost. When a business expands internationally, what type of risk may it encounter due to unknown rules, regulations? Everyone, when you go into the new area, I think one of the weirdest thing that can happen is laws of the land which can intervene. Marketing risk, exchange risk, corporate risk, seasonal risk. There can be multiple risks which are definitely going to affect any organization. है ना? So when we look at this risk, what's going to be the answer? The answer is exchange risk. One of the weirdest things, I think, that is one specific area which is too risky is in terms of exchange risk. If I have to look at we deal in rupees, they deal in say dollars, yen, or any other sort. This is scary. Why? Because whether you are getting money or not is the scariest part. है ना? So exchange risk is about dollars, rupees, yen, and all those things all together. Done? Chaliye then let's move on. What is the first step in conducting sensitivity? Sensitivity analysis is what? How sensitive you are in terms of the overall certain variables, not the entire variables, but certain variables. Developing mathematical equations in identifying factors impacting NPV or IRR, or conducting statistical test, or creating project timelines. What's going to be the answer, everyone? The correct answer here is identifying factors which impact. We have just studied about this particular topic when we started this topic itself. That what are the things which can impact your NPV or IRR, but in sensitivity you look at only one point at a time. While this is in terms of sensitivity, you look at one variable, or I can say one variable. When we look at multiple variables, that is where we use this sensitivity, and this is what we call as scenario. ठीक है ना? What is the alternative measure besides NPV that sensitivity analysis may focus on? अच्छा, NPV is not only the part there, है ना? This is what we studied there as well, that NPV definitely is a major part, but that's not the only part. So, project risk ratio, IRR, project payback, or project cost index. Everyone, what is IRR and what is project payback? When we talk about IRR, IRR is a method which is a new method and it has discounting. When we talk about non-discounting methods, that means if we have 10,000, we receive 10,000. If we have 15,000, we receive 15,000 only, and we value it in the same way in the books of accounts. Right? So IRR is basically something which is using discounting method, time value of money. If I receive 10,000 today, it is different. If I receive 20,000 tomorrow, then it's also not very big difference. Everyone, after 20 years, if I receive 20,000, you'll be like, ma'am, 20,000 value definitely varies over the period of time. So it's not, it is expected it won't be the same. I think when we were kids, I think 20 rupees was a very good amount for us. I think I was really happy when I used to get 5 rupees as well. You know, I used to save that money. Now, at this point of time, do you really think a kid today is going to have 5 rupees and he'll be happy as we were? No, they won't be. Right? That is how we define this specific area altogether. ठीक है ना? So that is how we look at the NPV in terms of sensitivity and anything else. This is how we talk about the area of time value of money, which IRR considers. Payback period doesn't. Payback is like what? Payback can be said. Payback is, everyone, if I put 10,000 rupees today, in how much time I can recover this 10,000? Matlab, whether my project is giving me that much amount of money or not. If I spend 10,000 and I get 20,000, this is a good situation. And by what time I can recover that 10,000 is what is going to determine the work, isn't it? So payback is in how much time we can recover those funds. Then project cost is basically the higher the cost, and then you have to think again and again whether that particular point was correct or not. And the last point would be the project risk ratio. What is the risk that you are ready to take up, and whether the risk is giving you good returns even or not. If it is not giving, it is just not worth it, isn't it? Chale. Now in this case, the correct answer would be IRR. Discounting rate of return. That is why when I was talking about NPV, I had earlier just said NPV or IRR. Next point, what is the primary purpose of simulation analysis? Simulation matlab, everyone, when we talk about simulation, we are creating a similar scenario of the truth, of the reality of that particular scenario, to find out what particular factors are more influential than the others. So when we talk about simulation, what is it about? Creating artificial situations, imitating the real situations or real scenarios, then identifying sensitivity in project criteria or deceptive analysis. When we talk about the simulation, in this case, we are looking at what particular scenario, everyone? See, when we talk about the specific area of simulation, we simulate or we create a similar situation to reality. But to do what? You're trying to find out which particular thing is more reactive. That means you try to find out which particular area is more sensitive than the other area together. That is how we define the specific area of simulation analysis. Done, everyone? If there's any doubt, just let me know. And everyone, please, if this particular session is helpful for you, then share the session, like the session, and subscribe to the channel right away. Acha, one more thing. When you're preparing for this examination, download our app right away because a lot of material, specifically which is available for free, is there on our app. Chaliye, now let's look at the specific area. Everyone, if you're preparing for this examination, please check out our website, that is www.adda247.com. Our revolution batch has just started, and we're covering currently the chapter of leverages. I've recently started, so if you're preparing for this examination, hurry up, go ahead and check out our CAIIB November 2024 batch, and this is where you'll find me. Revolution batch, everyone. In this area, we are covering the portion of ABFM, Advanced Business and Financial Management. Not only this, we have all the 4 compulsory subjects. Optional are not there. If you really want all the optional as well, then what you can do is just go through our CAIIB Mahapack and get it. That is where you will find bilingual English medium, both the packs, the compulsory batches, matlab all the 4 compulsory subjects as well as all the 5 optionals, and at the same time current classes, future classes, revision batch, numerical batch, if we include anything that we are coming up from this point of time to the till the end of the examination, whatever we have already given to you, everything is covered in the Mahapack. That is why I think Mahapack is very beneficial. But if you look forward to only those 4 subjects and you think that you can prepare for optional on your own, this is also a good batch. Revolution batch is definitely there for you. Right now we have started with the specific classes already. Just click on the area of buy now, everyone, and don't forget to use the code Y541. Just apply it and you will get this particular batch for 5519.77. So just hurry up and check it out on our website or in our app for further details. Under this batch you will find a lot of information. This is where you will find a specific area of the faculties that are there in this particular area, along with the specific area of our live classes. Test series, there are individual as well as mock test series, both are there. Look at this, everyone. When you look at the ABFM there, see, this is topic wise chat test for different areas. This is the full mocks, and topic wise is also there. If you look at this now, this is for the complete mocks. There is a specific area specifically for ABFM topic wise as well. You'll also find it there. So there are all the different test series which have already been included there, right? Look at this, all the test series are here. So this is a very beneficial area for anybody who's preparing and looking forward towards chapter wise benefits as well. Then the specific area of ebooks is there, and the ebooks, just look at the specific area of, where is it, everyone? Here we have ABFM. In ABFM, all the chapters 1 to 25 are there, which are inspired from the book itself. That means if you follow the content, you have already covered the entire Macmillan data. So please check it out on our website or in our app for further details, everyone. First of all, I think the best thing is that you download our app right away. If you'll download our app, then you won't be having any problem further. So you'll get all this data accessible at any point of time without any trouble. So that's one particular benefit which is undeniable. So if you're looking forward to it, then just go ahead and check it out right away. And don't forget to use the code Y541 to get maximum discount. Bye bye, everyone. I'll be meeting you in the